Hey everyone, welcome to the Draper Brothers. I'm Dusty,
And I'm Tyson.
we're happy to be with you tonight. We're excited about our show, but our hearts are a little heavy because there's a young girl missing, and we're trying to help find her. So we're gonna have her mother, Karen Kopp, as a special guest tonight. So we're going to go through a few things before we bring her on. She's backstage right now waiting for us. We just had a little visit with her, and we'll get to her in just a few minutes so we can get her back to what she needs to do and back to finding Whitney. So what do you got, Tyson?
Hey, everyone. So thank you for joining us on this Friday night. It's so good to be with all of you. I can't see the comments over here, but it looks like we got quite a few people in the house. Thank you guys for spending your Friday night with us. Like Dusty said, we got a great show for you. Our hearts are a little heavy. We were backstage talking to Whitney's mother. And, you know, this is a tough situation, tough for her and the family. So you guys are going to get to hear the story firsthand tonight, right from the horse's mouth. And we're just excited that she's, you know, spending the time with us here tonight to tell us what's going on with Whitney and hopefully bring her home safe.
All right, Tyson, I'm going to and you can interject anytime you want, but I want to give a brief rundown for those that don't know the case and haven't heard of Whitney. Give them a little idea what's going on so they're not lost. And for those that have heard it, maybe you'll learn a little something tonight too. So maybe we can get an army together to get Whitney home. So what was going on was Whitney was in Arizona. She's 16 years old. She was in Arizona visiting her dad, Chris, and she got on the airplane in Phoenix, flew on the plane, and then got to Denver, and then her stepdad was there to pick her up, and she just never showed up. So everyone's looking for her now. She's been missing since this happened on January 4th. She flew in around noon, I think, on January 4th. And yeah, Tyson, what else do you got? I got some more stuff, but I want to let you add whatever you.
Well, I want to thank your lovely wife, Tiffany, for putting this together for me. I can't take the credit. She actually put this together. It says that, like you said, Dusty, she went out to visit her dad, and everything was fine. You know, she had a great visit, and her dad dropped her off at the airport to fly back to Denver, and she has not been seen since, pretty much. But I'll save all those details for her mom. But yeah, it's a bizarre case, you know, when you've got an airport, an international airport with all these surveillance cameras and all these people in this big area and the police and everything else running around, that we have this situation. But it might make a little more sense when her mom comes on and kind of fills in some of these gaps. But
yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. So here's the picture we had on our thumbnail today. And here's a couple more that we have that we pulled off of social media and stuff. So yeah, it's really scary, especially when it's a teenager or a young child that goes missing. You don't know what's happened. There's been a lot of rumors going around on social media, which that's one reason we were trying to get in direct contact with her parents. We don't like to speculate, especially in cases like this, where if somebody starts saying something like she ran away or something, then there's not that much urgency to go out and find her because it's her own fault or whatever. You know, believe it or not, there's people that think like that. So hopefully we can quash a lot of the rumors that are going around and get the truth out there. And like Tyson said, nobody better to do that than one of her parents, and her mom especially. So that's great. She's here.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. And that's what happens in these cases, unfortunately, is the rumors start running rampant. So We're super excited to have her mom, Karen, with us. I think we should just go ahead and bring her on, Dusty, and introduce her and give her a chance to, kind of tell where everything's at. She says it's a very fluid case. Obviously, it changes from hour to hour. She's, but there she is. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Dusty.
I was going to say, Karen, can you just give us like your story of what's going on? We've heard a lot in the media. Most of the media stories are the same. We've heard the same things, a couple of rumors. Can you just clear everything up for us and tell us what you know?
Yeah, I mean, do you just want me to start from the beginning?
Sure, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So my girls have gone to visit their dad out in Arizona. Every year, I don't know, for the past 10 years, maybe or so, we've flown them out. Whitney usually flew with her older sister out there. Her older sister's 20 now and, has jobs and things. So Whitney did fly by herself. At age 14, airlines will let you fly by yourself. And there's no 16-year-old that's going to let you be babysat on a plane. So, we let her do that. We let her go. And like I said, she knew the airport very well. This is something we've done twice a year for quite a long time. So we dropped her off on the 19th in the afternoon. And I noticed that it was unusually calm in DIA for being right before Christmas. We got through security. We watched her walk through security within probably 30 seconds. It was not long. We watched her go through the little security check. And then we ran around to the window to watch her go down the escalator because we always watch her and wave to her and make faces. It's always kind of what we do. So she went down the escalator and we went and sat up at American Airlines. Nothing was out of place. Everything was totally normal, dropping her off as far as we could see. But when we waited for her, we didn't wait down there on the main terminal. We went up to the ticketing counter area because there were free seats there. So, I mean, we didn't see her from the time she went down the escalator. She went to her dad's, seemed like a normal visit. They visited family. They did go out of town to a secluded location, just to kind of relax and stuff. So she wasn't around any people there. It was just fun and family. We talked to her about every day, FaceTimed her from her sister's phone. So my daughter likes to FaceTime. It seemed very normal. And before she left, it was very normal. We watched Christmas movies. We baked Christmas cookies. We were happy. We did some Christmas shopping. Everything was just kind of even keel. There was nothing out of place. So coming back, I have her phone hooked up to my phone. We have iPhones. And so I get all of her texts. And so I watched her, tell her dad when they were leaving, that she was at the gate and watched their little conversation about that. And then I talked to her and said, be safe. I love you, something to that effect. And she said, love you too, heart, heart. And then she had a thumbs up emoji. And that was it. When kids get on a plane, it's hard to get cell service. They might be falling asleep. They could be watching a movie. I don't expect them to constantly be in contact through the flight. But when she got off, I did send my husband. We've been married for 11 years. And she loves her stepdad. And he is a spectacular guy. I mean, he will do anything for this kid. So he ran down to get her from the airport. And he sat there and she never showed. And he said, is her flight late? What's going on? So we started to talk to her dad in Arizona and said, is there something wrong? Can you check the flights? I was still at work at this time. And so after a while, Brian says, this isn't right. He started to look around. We thought it wasn't right either. It had just been too long. And if you've been to DIA, they do have the option from Concourse A to take a land bridge or a footbridge. And then there's also a train that you can take. Well, I always, for the past several years, walk the girls over the bridge, which takes longer, but it's cool. They play flute music. It's really fun. So that's her way that she knows to go, but it does take longer. So, he allowed time for that. Still nothing. So he started to walk around and look for her. He actually went outside, he checked everywhere to see if she was anywhere and nothing. So he immediately went over to American Airlines and talked to the security there. They helped him to page her. So they were already paging her before I even got off work and made it down there, to help out. So by the time I got there, they had already started a report with one of the Denver police officers who's stationed there. And so we filled out the report. We asked to see the video. At that point, we're like, look, she had to have come off this plane. We don't know where she is. She's not answering her phone. Her phone looked like it had been turned off to me, because the Find My iPhone, which, I could have seen her phone that way, it wasn't bringing up her phone at all, her location. So I assumed maybe her battery had died, something like that. But nothing. So they had her, Denver police had her added to the missing and exploited persons national database by about 9 o'clock that night, because it just didn't seem right. She did not drive herself to the airport. She needed to have that ride from her dad home. So there's not a possibility. It is very far away from where we live. So, it's not just something where you run over and pick her up. So that's that. It took us an awfully long time to get that surveillance video. What I feel is maybe unnecessarily long. And I know that the detective in Denver was just sitting there looking at his computer, just waiting for that to come in. He told us, I'm sorry, I still haven't received it. And so we finally were able to get that video. I was able to see it yesterday morning. The person who initially looked at it at DIA said that they didn't see her come off the plane. And I said, what do you mean she didn't come off the plane? What are our two options here? That she jumped out of the plane mid-flight, or that she disappeared like magic? You understand that those aren't options. She had to have come off that flight. So we finally got to see it yesterday, thank goodness. And we were able to identify her because her dad had bought her a hat. It was pretty loud. It was black, red, and white. It had 2 big white stripes and a huge pom-pom on the top. And then he had given her an extra backpack of his to carry home her Christmas presents. And so, we were able to see her walking through. We were able to identify her by that, but her hair looked really dark. And I didn't know if it was because the camera footage was not clear. It was awfully dark. But I did know my kid. That was my kid. That's how she walks. That's her size. So that was her. And then they were able to track her walking through the airport. She went down to RTD. She purchased a ticket, which she had trouble doing because she's never been on light rail before. We don't have that kind of down on our side of town anywhere close where a teenager would be utilizing that within probably 25 to 30 minutes of our house. So she got on. They watched her till she got to what I believe is about 61st and Pena. And she got off and then was on foot on Tower Road heading east. And that's all we have. What's weird about it is the dark hair. She likes her blonde hair. If anything, she'd want it to be lighter. And that hair was awfully dark. They were able to verify that that was a wig, that she was wearing, that it was a dark wig in the video, because I know that's her. She could not have possibly dyed her hair between her dad dropping her off and me picking her up, because despite what you see here, I have very wavy hair, and so does she. She's got my hair. If I wet this down, it's not going to be straight. And it would be the same with her. Her hair would not have been straight like it is in the video and in the pictures. So we know it's a wig. What's weird about it is that someone posted and then later had been interviewed, I think, by the detective. She said that she was sitting next to her in the seat. She looked really nervous. She was holding a black phone. Now, the phone that I gave her is a pink phone. It's an iPhone 8 Plus. And so that's a big phone, and it's pink and white. And the phone that she had, she described, I think, as being a Samsung, and it was black. So there was that. Another interesting thing is that we've got a discrepancy in the suitcase that we sent her with, and she came back apparently in the pictures with something different. So we don't know, but there's a jacket that she's wearing in the video that we did not give her. Her dad in Arizona did not buy that for her, and she does not have the means to be able to, have something sent to her without us finding out about it. At my house, she's not alone at any second. My husband's been, here at the house. My daughter is 20. She's been here at the house, and so is my son. So, she's not alone, and it's very uncharacteristic. She does not like to dress up at all. Doesn't like to have things in her hair. She was never like a wig person, not like a cosplayer. I have one of those that loves that. She is not. She won't do it. And so it's very odd to see her do that. And she's a regular teenage girl. She's super emotional. When she's happy, she's super happy. When she's mad, you definitely get to know that. So to see this so kind of cold and calculated and just walking off is also not characteristic of this girl.
Okay.
So yeah, she was with her dad and her stepmom the entire time. She doesn't have friends that she hangs out with down there, and they were not close enough most of the time to be able to, be on her own at any. She's been under everyone's watch this whole time.
All right. Well, I have a couple questions here real quick for you, Karen. Thank you for filling all those details in. I want to go back for a minute to the lady that said that she saw the black Samsung phone. Mm-hmm. Was there anything else unusual at that time? Was she, I think you had mentioned when we were talking backstage that she was wearing gloves and that she had kind of like there was a little more to her costume here, wasn't there?
Right. And the lady said, I guess this is what I've heard secondhand. I didn't talk to the woman myself. But she apparently reported to her husband, she said she must be hot. She's wearing that hat, looks like a wig, looks like a jacket. She had what appears to be gloves on, and she was staring at a phone that was not on. There was not a movie playing. There was not music playing. She was just kind of staring at it. And it apparently is not the one that we gave her. So that's very troublesome. I mean, she has the phone, but not the one we gave her.
So where do you think she got the wig? And I mean, because if she was under pretty much everybody's watch the whole time she was in Arizona, do you even have any guess of where she could have got this stuff at this point?
No. And like I said, she doesn't know that many kids her age in Arizona. Everybody she knows in Arizona would be family. I mean, we've got wonderful family out there. They're great people, but not really a whole lot her age that aren't her cousins. And obviously that's not the case. So, we're speculating entirely at this point, but we would love to get some video from DIA so that we could see where she went after she went down that escalator.
Yeah.
Because I worry, and again, speculation, we worry that she came back up after she saw Hallie and I leave, because we were sitting next to that glass window, and that possibly, somebody was there, and then she went back through security again. She's 16 and has an ID. She can go through security by herself. So that's our concern, is that maybe there was somebody there at DIA before we left. Again, she was not capable of being able to accomplish this on her own. This is not her personality to try to do this on her own at all. She has been coached by somebody to wear gloves. That kid doesn't like gloves either. Yeah. I mean, all of these things are so very uncharacteristic for her.
So, Dusty, I'm sorry I'm hogging all the time here, but I have another question that I think a lot of our subscribers will have too. When she got off there at 61st and Pena and you said she was walking east down Tower Road, she was obviously by herself when she got off there, wasn't she?
She was. Okay.
So is she the type of girl is she afraid of the dark? Is she brave? Because to me, it seems like, it's Denver. It's cold. It's very cold. It's dark. And she's walking down the street by herself. I mean, that's a very scary situation. How would you imagine she's reacting in that situation?
The weird thing, this was midday, so it wasn't dark yet.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was
that they saw her, on the highway, and I guess some police had reported a girl walking down the highway. She had dark hair, so people were not looking for that. They were looking for a blonde.
Oh,
so the dark hair definitely threw them off. So that's weird, but yeah, I mean, I love my daughter so much, but she does not like to walk long distances with me. I love to go walking every day. That is not her gig. She does not like that. And, frequently she likes to take the car just around over to the friend's house here in our neighborhood. She doesn't, that's not her thing. So to get out and walk so far, I don't think she knew where she was, or she accidentally got off somewhere that maybe it's very odd. It's very odd for her. She's not a walkabouter.
She seems like she's way out of her element in every way. Like you said, she was very like tactile. She didn't like the feel of wigs and different things like that. So she was out of her element there. She was out of her element being by herself, walking in a strange place, being especially so young, you know. So I mean, there's just so many red flags and bells and whistles going off here. I mean, somebody has to be coaching her along here. She can't be doing this on her own. I wouldn't.
Right. And I think what scares us a little bit is that, you know, what we happen to just know about human traffickers and predators and things like that is that they don't come and physically, you know, wrestle you down at the airport and then drag you off typically, because that causes a scene. You know, what they're going to do, and what we've seen is that people, a lot of times they get coerced into doing it or threatened that something will happen to their family. You know, it's possible she could have met somebody online. And as a 16-year-old girl, you know, she's very impressionable. So somebody starts being nice to you, telling you things that, you know, make you feel good, you know, you're pretty, whatever. She was especially impressionable. And I worry that maybe she's gotten in touch with somebody who's unsavory. I mean, we don't know. We can't find her.
Here's a question that somebody was asking here. Does she have a Facebook, and has it been checked? Your daughter?
She does not have Facebook. I did have a security app installed on her phone, so she wasn't able to have Snapchat as far as I know. Instagram, now there's rumblings that she did have those things. And I kind of suspected maybe she did, but I didn't know how she was doing it, because it certainly wasn't through the phone. I've since turned the phone in to the detective, and they cannot find anything on that either. So there had to be a secondary phone, and she had to have that before she left here.
Dusty, what are your thoughts?
I have some questions. My thoughts are I'm really confused, but because this is different than anything we've dealt with before. But so going back to the lady that saw her on the plane that was sitting next to her, did the police find her credible when they interviewed her?
Yeah, nobody has any reason to think. Her dad has also talked to this person. No one has any reason to think that she would be making it up.
All right, great. So another thing question I had, because it kind of blew me away that you said that it took them until yesterday to get you footage. The airport?
Yeah, the Denver Police Department was able to get it Wednesday to review it, and they were able to have me see it on Thursday. But, you know, in thinking of terms of kids and how quickly things move, I mean, in Colorado, the problem is that we have I-70 and I-25 crossing. Those are two huge interstates. You can get out of the state so fast. And so the problem is when she went missing, not being able to have access to that video to see her and to see her going, you know, getting off the RTD light rail at that point. I mean, we've lost so much precious time waiting for this video to be able to verify her. We don't even, I mean, we hope she's here. We hope that she's in state so we can get her, but we just don't. Who knows? It's been now it's Friday, you know, we're 4.5 days into this.
Yeah. So do you think it's possible she might have had that black phone before she left? Because you said there's.
I think we do. I don't have proof of that, but it seems like she did.
Yeah. That's what, after you said that she was getting on Instagram maybe, and you didn't know how, I thought, well, maybe she just went and got her a burner phone or something and was doing it. Because I did see something where somebody was, I didn't know if it was true, but somebody was showing a private account, and they said it was hers on Facebook or something, but it was an Instagram account, you know, and there was, you know, it was on there. So I don't know if that was hers or not, but that's several,
she had several Instagram accounts and possibly 2 Snapchats, because unfortunately she had a really bad habit of forgetting her passwords. So before I took away her ability to have those, she had created a couple. But recently she didn't have access to those with my permission recently. So,
hey, Karen,
go ahead, Tyson. I'll ask one of you.
I'm sorry, Dusty. I didn't mean to jump on top of you there, but I want to ask about this Reddit comment that somebody had made. It was supposedly from somebody that knew her. It was a friend from school or something like that was saying that she kind of had a history of running away. And I just wanted to see if there was any truth to that. Has she ever ran away before or anything like that? Has she ever given you guys a scare or anything?
Yeah. And just to preface this, it's not uncommon for kids to run away from home. My brother ran away. We lived in the mountains. He saw a bear and headed right back for the house. That was a fast one, but it's very common for young kids to leave home for a night. And that did happen one time. It did frighten us a little bit, but she was in the neighborhood. And she was with somebody that she knew from school. So yeah, that was a little scary. But again, you know, when you look around, that's not unusual for kids to run away from home for a night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really not. Since then, you know, like I said, she's been at home. We've not had any issues, not even like fights. Everybody was getting along. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I knew a lot of our subscribers and people around the world that are starting to follow this case, they were going to have that question. So I just wanted to hear it from you and, you know, kind of get a little bit of background on that. So, Dusty.
Something did stand out to me that you were talking about. You said that she could have been threatened and stuff like that. I watched Elizabeth Smart's documentary, and she was talking about how people were always asking her after she was found, why didn't you just say something? You were right there next to cops. She said that because her whole family was threatened, you know, like if she did anything, they were going to kill her whole family, you know, and so she was just deathly afraid. Even when the cops had her away from the people, there was footage of it, and she was scared to tell her real name. So I can understand what you're saying there as far as if somebody threatened her. I know how having had a 16-year-old girl, I know what they can do. They don't think rationally sometimes, and hopefully that she's not in a position where people are threatening her or threatening you guys and making her do what she, you know, hopefully she's just lost or something. I don't know. Hopefully she'll come back really soon, but this is a scary situation, and I'm sorry that you're having to go through this.
Well, thank you. I wanted to add really quickly that this situation is pretty sensitive. We've had a very close personal family friend that was actually kidnapped a couple of years ago, and that was a terrifying ordeal, and there was no way she could have gotten out of it, and she was threatened with her life if she did not comply. And so it's still very raw and very fresh for us, having known that this has already happened with people that we know. And so it's a possibility. We don't know what happened to her. We have exhausted our list of friends and, you know, talked to everybody, you know, watched, you know, to see if she comes up the door. It's just absolutely horrifying, terrifying. It is so stressful. And I'll tell you, just jumping through all of these legal hoops or trying to get things, and it's just taking forever, just adds so much more to that anxiety and stress that we're already feeling. It is just so draining and so horrible.
I don't imagine that it's, I guess when it's not happening to you, you don't think it's this hard to get the things done. You think everybody would just be running out to help you. And I know that they have their rules they go through and all that, but it's got to be, so you have to be so anxious not knowing if she's just going to walk through the door, like you said, or what's going on. You know, it is a scary situation. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
it's absolutely terrifying. I don't know of anything that's more terrifying than having, you know, just the disappearance. It is overwhelming.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm probably the only one that can talk to you right now because I'm keeping it together maybe a little bit better than everybody else, just out of sheer force. So
there's going to be a lot of people asking us, how come she was so calm and how come she was so together? Because they think everybody's the same. But I've
got a girl to find. I've got a daughter
exactly.
there.
Yeah.
We are not getting the help that we need through videos, and somebody has got to get out there and say this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm mad. I'm going to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
I am mad that we have had to wait this long. We could have found her much sooner than this. Now I will say law enforcement has been spectacular.
Good.
I realize they've not, had the cooperation that they need on certain ends as well. We have had amazing officers, deputies, detectives help us out and are constantly just out there helping. I mean, I couldn't be happier with the help we're getting. It has been extraordinary. So on that end, we have a lot of confidence in the law enforcement side, and we're very grateful for that. We're very happy about that. But again, this has drained everyone.
Yeah.
Everybody, we don't know what to think. And I'm probably the only one probably keeping it together right now.
Yeah.
So,
and you also told us that you've been through some traumatic experiences before. So, that could explain how you're holding it together too, because when you told us what you told us about your first husband, that I didn't know that. And I thought, man, how much tragedy is one person going to have to go through here, so.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, my first husband was a police officer who died in the line of duty when my daughter was not Whitney, but my other daughter was 6 months old. Like I said, we've had trouble with kidnappings, with stalkings on, different family acquaintances and things like that. We've had a lot of experience with it, and it's not anything I would ever wish on anybody else. I hate to say I've got experience with it, but here we are, and it's just horrifying. I think one of the hardest things is that right now I can keep it together because we have things to do. We've got checklists, we've got to follow up, we've got to do things. I worry about when and if that goes away. It's just so empty and it's scary, and you're left with your thoughts about what's happening to her, and that's terrifying. So I think, keeping busy trying to find her is what's keeping us afloat right now.
And I have seen other parents who were acting the way you're acting. They were just mad, and they were going out and searching themselves and doing all they could do. So it's not unusual. I've seen it. I'm going to ask questions that I'm trying to nip in the bud before some of the people come out and say, why I didn't see her crying, all that stuff. But
I cry.
I'm right sure now. You do. Yeah.
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 No, I'm pretty mad right now.
Yeah. Well, I totally understand. And I would be the same way. I'd be really angry right now, especially I'm not trying to keep bringing this up, but I can't believe how long the airport took to get you that footage. That just blows my mind. So
right, and we have a list of things that we need to deal with after we find her. Things that have not been okay, and that's one of them. I think we all need to push for some help, some changing in the red tape and the bureaucracy and whatever is happening here that doesn't allow people to see this. It's not like you're seeing compromising pictures of people. I understand privacy is important. But this is different. Somebody could stand outside of the gate with their, camera phone and film what it is that we need to see. And it's going directly to a detective. It's not going out to the public. So there's not really a breach of anyone's privacy. And in the middle of a busy airport, for crying out loud, you do not have that reasonable expectation of privacy. Not in a community like that. So it doesn't make sense to sit here and have to jump through red tape to find your minor child.
Absolutely.
I'm really mad about sorry, I don't mean to get worked up, but this is a problem. And it's a problem when I tried to get phone records. I was led around for 2.5 hours trying to get those. And luckily the police have taken that over and been able to take care of those things. But I mean, on my own, it was absolutely ridiculous. I'm
going to tell you, we look for cases because we do this channel, and I didn't hear about this until yesterday. I mean, that's ridiculous, and we're looking for cases, you know what I'm saying? So there's something wrong with the alert system. I don't know what happened. I mean, they should have had her picture out on every channel and every website. I mean, it just seems like it just kind of didn't start getting bigger until yesterday afternoon. So, that's really, really crucial time too, right there.
I was looking at the comments here, and there's some questions about boyfriends. People closest to her say she does not have a boyfriend. People who are physically with her and around her every day say no. We've had a lot of people ask that question. So no, there was not a known boyfriend amongst any of her friend groups. So
well, Let me ask you, Karen, because there's a good chance that Whitney may see this video. Who knows? Who knows? You know, what would be your plea to her? What would you want to say to her right now?
I would just say, Whitney, it's just come home. We'll figure it out. Whatever it is, you know, if someone's threatened you, just come home. We'll deal with it. You know, whatever. We just need to know that you're safe. You just please come home. It's time. Your sister is upset. See, I can't even keep it together now. It's time to come home.
Yeah. Karen, we're going to offer you anytime you need to contact us. We've been known to go to Colorado to look for people. That's sadly to say, that's our main hub of stories, you know, that we cover. But if you ever need anything, you just call us. We'll post anything you want on our channel. And you got an open invitation to come on here and say anything you want. And we want to help in any way we can. And our hearts go out to you. And we'll do all we can to help you.
And Whitney, Karen, this is not me. This is a different Tyson. But he says, my heart breaks for this family. Let's hope Whitney is safe. And we have almost 1,000 people watching right now. This video will hopefully be seen by tens of thousands of people, hopefully more. But that's the overall feeling of everybody here tonight, is we just want to bring her home safely. So.
Absolutely.
That's all we want. You know, whatever it is, if there's trouble, whatever, we don't even care. Just come home and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much all I have, Karen. We'll let you go spend time with your family. We know you're busy, and gosh, you probably need some sleep. I don't know how you slept, how you guys even slept without that video, waiting on that on pins and needles. I'm so sorry.
I don't either. I think I passed out. I'd probably just collapsed somewhere. I don't even recall.
Yeah. Well, you got my number, and keep in touch with me, and we'll, like Dusty said, we'll do whatever we can, even if we got to put our boots on the ground up there and see what we can find out. Our subscribers, they know me. I don't back down from a challenge, and I would love to go up and walk down Tower Road and just give everybody a bird's eye view of where she was at and what it looks like, and see what we can turn up for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, Dusty.
You have a good night, Karen. We're praying for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Gosh, man, that's heartbreaking, bro. She was holding it together like 90% of the time she was on here. I shouldn't have started asking those questions like that and got her worked up.
Well, I was wanting her to give kind of a plea to Whitney, because, you know, there's a chance she might see this video. We don't know where she's at. She might be watching social media, you know, Googling her name, and I wanted her mom to give her a direct message. So that was awesome.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, and a lot of times that'll help if somebody does have control in some way over her. You get them feeling, the people knowing that she's a human being and she's someone's child. If they have any sort of conscience in the world, they'll let her go or whatever.
You would hope, man, and you know, maybe towards the end, I'd like to put a plea out to those people, you know, but I don't know if it's going to do any good, but why not?
Yeah.
I was going to show.
Go ahead, bro.
Dusty, I was just going to show. I don't know if we showed all the pictures that we were going to show tonight, but we were going to show. There they are.
It's Whitney and Karen and her sister. This is a beautiful picture of the family.
Mm-hmm.
It's her mom and her stepdad and her brothers and sisters.
Here's the
BZ Mama went up to her high school today and got some video and some photos. So we appreciate her doing that, doing the proxy boots on the ground for us.
Yeah, BZ Mama, thank you so much. I think that's at is there a temple in Denver? I think that's at the temple for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
So here's a flyer. They got her with dark hair on this left side, and then they got her with the blonde hair because she could take that wig off any time and have blonde hair again. So you gotta, gosh, man, really hope that I hope she just contacts her mom and comes home. You know, this is a really sad situation. But any of you that, go ahead, Tyson. I didn't mean to click on that.
No, go ahead, bro.
Sorry. I'm just going to say, if any of you, I know we have a lot of followers and subscribers that are in Colorado. If any of you are around the Denver area, just keep your eyes open, and if you have anything that you see that might stand out to you, just report it to the tip line. If you're hesitant to do that, get all the information you can and contact us, and we'll get it right to her mom and to the law enforcement. We just want her to come home. You know, it's not a safe place for a young girl to be out on her own like that. So,
yeah. Let's hope for another Elizabeth Smart, but not as long.
It's a lot quicker.
Yeah, not as long. There was somebody that donated $9.99. I'm not sure who it was, but I wanted to tell them thank you for that. But Dusty, without taking the spotlight off of this case, I do want to draw a comparison between her behavior and Barry Morphew's, because it's such a contrast. You know, did you hear a lot of the things that she was saying there about how she just wanted to get the word out, and it was taking forever to get that video, and she just wanted to get in front of the media and find out, you know? But look at the contrast. This is how people should act when they have a loved one that's gone missing.
Yeah, it's definitely, there is a contrast. There's a contrast not only with Barry, but with a lot of people that have ended up, you know, not on the good side of things. So whenever you have a sincere parent, someone who's heartbroken, someone who's, and I don't want to sound weird, but it's almost a relief, because we've seen so much of the contrast. It's a relief that they're out there spearheading the search. They're shaking the trees, trying to get things to fall out. They're putting pressure on people to be able to view videos. I love that she said the cops have been great, because, I mean, that's awesome. Because another contrast with Barry, he was out there blaming the cops for a bunch of stuff, saying they screwed up the investigation. Yeah, and it's great to hear someone say that they've done a lot of work on this case, and they couldn't be happier. So that's good.
Especially coming out of the situation that she's been in, where she couldn't get the video, and they, you know, she's probably
fault, you know, like,
he was sitting there waiting and watching his computer, and he was doing the best he could. But, you know, naturally you expect the police to do the work. And so you're kind of putting a lot of pressure on them. But the fact that she was so positive towards them, that was very refreshing. So, you know, we hope the best for her and for that family. And gosh, it's just terrible, man. I tell you what, dude, how does CBI ever get any sleep?
They must have a lot of employees, but
they're busy.
I wanted to touch on something she said about the highways there. There's a similar thing here going through Kentucky. Yeah, with the I-65, it would be so easy for someone to just disappear from where we're at, because it goes right through. It goes all the way from the Gulf down there in like Alabama and near Florida and all that, all the way up to like Chicago. And so, I mean, any way you want to go, they could just disappear. And that apparently that's the case with the two highways intersecting. That's even worse. You don't know which direction they're going. So if that is the case, hopefully it's not. Hopefully she's still around the Denver area, and, you know, to give her a little hope. And I know she's watching, because I could see her backstage, but I've had people contact me and say, you know, my son's missing. He's been missing for a couple of days, or my daughter's missing. And there's a couple cases I could think of. One was in Phoenix, where a lady contacted me, and she found her son. He was in a shelter. So, you know, she found him, and what it was, you know, she thought it was a miracle, but it was great that it was great to hear from her that happened, you know. And there's been other cases where that there was a case not too long ago where a girl went missing, and then they found out she just was with a young man, and she just wanted to get away for a while because she had a live-in boyfriend at her house that was her parents let live there. And I mean, she was only like 17 and he'd been living there for a while. Imagine the pressure that put on her, like,
yeah.
So, I'm not saying
Exactly.
there's anything like that going on with Whitney. I can almost guarantee you there's not. That's not the dynamic there, but she did return. She came home and she just left for a while. I don't know. Kids, I remember when I was 16, it seemed like the end of the world every time some little thing would happen. So,
yeah.
And I had a 16-year-old girl. I had a 16-year-old boy, and you think that that's your whole world and nothing's ever going to get better when that's not even the beginning of your life,
Exactly.
There's so much to live for, so much out there to experience, and this is the easy time of life. I mean, I'm sure
but
it's not easy,
well,
comparatively speaking.
Yeah, but we all know they make mountains out of molehills. So, there was obviously, something that, and even when I was talking to Karen backstage the first time, she was talking about, her just being a normal emotional child. She's great. She loves to snuggle up to her mom when they watch movies and sit down on her legs, and she loves to give hugs. She's very touchy-feely. She's just a very docile child, but yet she can flip and get, emotional and upset, just like any regular 16-year-old child.
Well, I can back up what she's saying about, because I went through Karen's Facebook page, before we asked her to come on the show. I was just trying to find any information I could out about Whitney, and I saw she's hugging everyone. She looks like she's having a great time. They look like they have a loving family. When she was visiting her dad, he would say really good things about her on Instagram, because I went through his stuff too. And he would always tag her in things with the pictures. And so for anything, all the information I gathered, it looks like she was happy. And from what Karen said, what her mom said, before she left, she was happy. And she seemed to like not anything major happened while she was out at her dad's, and she seemed happy, and she was writing to her positive messages with hearts and thumbs up. So it's just strange, it's weird. Hopefully we'll get some answers, and she'll just come through that door like Karen wanted her to.
Judy Johnson has a question here, and this is a question that I actually asked Karen earlier off the air. Did she talk to her friends in Colorado while visiting her dad in Arizona? She said that she doesn't really have friends in Arizona. She said all of her friends would be her cousins, and that they were with her the whole time. She never left their side, long enough to go run off and meet somebody and all this other stuff. So
I think she's asking if she talked to friends in Colorado while she was in Arizona. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I misread that. But yeah. So did she talk to, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, we can ask her that and then, update, but I don't know if that would one thing I was going to ask, and we can ask her off the air, but she said something about the escalator, and she could have went back up the escalator. I'm pretty sure she was talking about when they dropped her off to go to Arizona. She could have went back up there and met with somebody or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what she's saying. So
okay.
I think I asked her my own question whenever I was figuring that out in my head, but yeah.
Well, you know what? We got Chappie's stamp of approval on that for sure. He has 4 daughters, 4 wonderful daughters. Karen, just so you know, I know you're backstage listening. Chappie's our cousin, and he's been a part of this channel, and he's got 4
officer too. So.
Yep, 4 lovely daughters, and they're from Arizona, but he's living in New Mexico now. So, but anyway, thank you for being here tonight, Chappie. Dusty.
Yep.
That's pretty much all I have, brother. What else did you want to say?
I said in the thumbnail that we were going to update the Daybell case. This kind of took over that, and we have talked about it, and I think that we're gonna just talk about that on my next 321 report.
Well,
because we have some, just a couple of things we want to touch on, because Tyson had a lot of experience with Zulema and a couple of other people in that case, and we wanted to bring up some old videos and talk about some connections to that recording that we heard the other day.
Yeah. So I spent the day in Gilbert, Arizona.
There you froze.
Say what, Dusty? I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I thought you froze up there for a minute. It might have been me, but go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying I spent the day in Gilbert, Arizona. I'd love to try to talk to Zulema while I'm here, so I'm not going to make any promises. I will say this. I did talk to some people that know Zulema, and they said she hasn't left the house in like almost a year.
What?
Yeah, so that's their understanding. She doesn't leave the house, so I don't know how I'm going to catch her outside of her house to talk to her, but I did go by there. I did drive by the house, and there's a different car there now. So I did see her daughter. Her daughter ran outside real quick, but so it looks like she got a new car. It's a nice Lexus. It's a nice neighborhood. It just makes you wonder, where does Zulema get her money? Living in such a nice neighborhood and driving a Lexus and not working, not coming out of the house for a year. So there's some questions I'd like to have answered from her and also from Melanie Pulowski. So
maybe she got some insurance money on Alex before he.
That's what I was thinking. I was wanting to look in and see if Alex had a life insurance policy. I thought I saw somewhere that he did.
Man, might have. I don't know.
That could be a motive right there. They say he died of natural causes, but I don't know. It's all weird. If you listen to that 911 call where Joseph Lopez, the son of Zulema, he calls in and he's all calm and casual. And, he's scared.
Even know his name, really.
Yeah, he didn't even know his name. He's like, hey, I got a guy laying on my floor here. He's dying. Get somebody over here.
Yeah.
Basically.
I know it's not probably. If you don't know the whole story about Alex Cox, you probably tune in and go, man, those guys are hardcore, cold-blooded, talking about a dead guy like that. But
no.
That guy wasn't really – he wasn't a good guy. So it's just – we're pretty sure he had something to do with killing 2 kids. So, I mean –
Oh, absolutely. There's no question, man. There's no question. But
I know for sure he killed Charles Vallow. So
yeah, he did. And he did that out of cold blood. He's a liar. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows how that went down. But what I was gonna say is, I lost my. I'm sorry, lost my train of thought. No. It was something about. What was it? I can't remember. But yeah, it was with Joseph Lopez. He was just there. He called 911, and it was odd how Zulema showed up shortly thereafter. How convenient, right? During the 911 call, she comes walking in. You can't hardly hear anything because of that yapping dog. But and I heard that dog yapping again today out in the backyard. Man, that thing is noisy.
That thing was yapping on that body cam footage that you got.
Yeah. But no, it's anyway, I'm throwing this out there because I would love to talk to Zulema. So Zulema, if you see this, it's time to get out of your house.
She doesn't even have to come out of the house. She can just come on here. So she can stay in her house. I don't care.
Yeah, I know. But
she's been on these before. I've heard her on a podcast before.
Not since all this went down.
Oh, no, well, she has immunity. They said she has immunity, so she could talk about whatever she wants, really.
And that's the other thing. She's trying to they're trying to get the case thrown out. That Mark Means is trying to get it thrown out on some technicality where Robert Wood, like you were saying the other night, he was coercing or something like that. I don't know all the legal terms, but I don't know, dude. We can talk about this another night. I know we wanted
to talk about it. We got going on it. So
I know we wanted to dedicate this night to Karen and Whitney and their family, but that's kind of a preview, guys. I wanted you to know what I've been up to today with my boots on the ground. I'm always out here getting into some kind of trouble, right? So love you guys.
Well, do you see any questions you want to answer there or anything, Tyson? If not, I think that we're getting right on an hour, and I think it's been a good show, and I think that yeah, whatever you think. If you want to stick around.
I don't see a question, but I see what Rose Bogert said. Motion was denied, all in capitals. Yes, it was. So those murder charges are coming, but here we go. Dusty, I'm going to add this on here. AK, have mom hit me up. Yeah, so AK's, he's a friend of ours, Tube Crime. I'm not sure I don't think Tube Crime's still going, but they're going to put together another channel soon. AK, he's a boots on the ground type of guy.
And he's in Colorado.
He's in Colorado, and so he would be willing to go do some searching up there as well, Karen. So
yeah, and he'd be a good contact to have because he's a good guy and he's willing to be mobile and go do this stuff. So
Dusty, see what my good friend Olivia's saying there. She's out in Sacramento, California. Hi, Olivia. I think you guys got to do a live related to Zulema Vallow Daybell case. Yes, that's what we're going to do. We are going to do that probably next, right, Dusty?
Yeah, that Zulema video you had was one of our biggest ones. So,
well, it's because she's out there. She has the power to make earthquakes. That's why.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, buddy. Hey, thanks a lot for being here. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, our subscribers. And also our sponsor, Merrill Boots. We haven't given them a shout out in a while, but they still are our sponsor. Thank you to all of you guys who donated. The latest one was Miss Mister. You're always here, Miss Mister. Thank you for the super sticker. Once again, thank you, Karen, for coming on tonight and giving the story of what's going on with your daughter, Whitney. And I would like to say, Dusty, to those people that may see this that have Whitney, do the right thing. Call the police. Turn her in, drop her off somewhere, do whatever you got to do to get her back to her family. I know they're hurting badly and you need to do the right thing. So anything in that regard, Dusty?
No, I agree. That if you got any kind of conscience, which, just let her go, let her come home. If, and if Whitney, you're out there and you're scared to come home because you think you're going to get in trouble, I guarantee you that your mom's not going to, she might be mad at you, but she's not gonna punish you or anything like that if you come home. So
yep. And the sooner you do that, Whitney, the better. The sooner the better. So please come home, Whitney. Please, if you see this, please call your mom. We sat here with your mom and talked to her before the show. She's absolutely heartbroken. And I can tell you, I know you can't imagine right now in your young mind, but as a parent myself, I can't imagine what your family's going through. They miss you tremendously and they love you. Please do the right thing, Whitney.
All right, guys. Thanks for being with us. And we'll see you later on.
Bye-bye.